Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. Because I do. And I like BookTube. I love BookTube. So today we're going to talk about BookTube and how I have perceived that BookTube has changed in the 4+ years that I have been on BookTube. So, let me give you a little history lesson. Welcome to another driving vlog. I love doing these. I'm having so much fun doing these. So I can just drink my coffee and I can talk. And yeah, so anyway, ow, I just hit my tooth with my straw. So let me tell you, okay, so in 2014, I wrote a book called The Before, Now, and After Then by Peter Monn. I actually, in the month of May, I believe it was, I read the entire book, several chapters at a time on my channel. So if you would like to listen to it, because it is no longer available to buy. I think that you can buy a copy on Amazon for like $690, $92 or something ridiculous. But it's out of publication right now. It will be coming back with the publication of my next book through a different publisher. But it is currently, so that's why I did it, because people ask all the time, where can I get your book? And so I thought, listen, I'm just going to put it over here for free, and then people can read it. So, the next copy that comes out will be a re-edited version, probably with a different ending. Well, it'll have the ending that it has, but then there will be an addition to it that I've worked on. So anyway, in 2014, I wrote a book. And my publisher at the time suggested that I reach out to a lot of booktubers. Well, I had never heard of BookTube. I didn't know what BookTube was. I didn't know anything about BookTube. So I was like, well, what is BookTube? And she said, BookTube is a platform, you know, like on YouTube where people talk about books and whatever. So I just went in and one night and searched on, where's my Scentbird? No. Where is my lip balm? This is my favorite lip balm of the moment, the Chubby Chap Cucumber Melon. I love it. Somebody sent it to me. Oh, I need to go to the post office, actually, to mail something out. So I'll go over to the post office. But so I got on YouTube one night and I just searched BookTube. And I think, like, Jesse the Reader's videos were actually the first videos that came up. And I watched him, and I watched Benjamin of Tomes, and I watched Christina, and I watched like all the big booktubers. They were all the ones that came up, or like I would go to Jesse's channel and then to the right hand side, and I just started following all of them. And at that point I hadn't decided to, it wasn't even anywhere on my radar to start a BookTube channel. I think I had decided, if I remember correctly, ooh, look at that traffic, I'm glad I'm not in that. I think I had decided I was going to start a book blog, actually like reviewing books and stuff like that, which never really ended up happening. So I decided, so I was watching these, and I found Connor O'Brien and Ginger Reads Laney. Is that her channel name? Anyway, I think she does all author videos now, but back then she did like BookTube videos, Laney did. And who else? Katrina. And there were a lot of booktubers that I found that I just kind of like immediately fell in love with this whole world. And you know, it was the, oh, how could I ever forget? Kayla over at Books and Lala. She was one of the very first people that I watched, and I immediately fell in love with her. And I still love her. I still watch all of her videos. And I actually, like, it's funny because for many of you, you know that I do like YouTuber drama videos, beauty influencer drama videos. And I think people think that's a lot of what I watch, which is not true. Like, the majority of the videos that I watch are BookTube videos, or I love She Shed videos, and I also like those videos of people that like build houses out of shipping crates and live off the grid. I don't know why I love those. It's maybe kind of like a little dream of mine to live off the grid and just read. Although if I were out in the middle of nowhere, I'd be terrified all the time, I think. But anyway, traffic is bad today. So I started watching all of these channels, and within like, that was in 2014, and I kind of like started falling in, and I started watching a lot of this. Well, over a period of time, I so when would I have started my channel? It would have been 2016. So, hold on a second. In 2016, I started my channel, May 11th of 2016. So between, like, let's say, October of 2014 and May 11th of 2016, I was just like a watcher of BookTube. Like, I just watched these channels and, you know, started looking at BookStagram and just became really kind of obsessed with this whole community. And really wanted to do it for a long time. I was like, oh my God, I have found a community of people that all they do is talk about books, they love books, on and on and on. I just want to be part of this so bad, right? But I didn't really know how to do it. You know, I, like, just was not that technically savvy, and I knew that if I did it, I wanted to make like a commitment to doing it, like posting consistently and all that kind of stuff. And there was also, like, at the time that I started, this huge, like, everybody was reading young adult, and my book was young adult, and I had read a lot of young adult, like, after my book came out. And I remember I started, like, my very first like young adult book that I really listened to on Audible was Robin Schneider's The Beginning of Everything, which is fantastic. And then I listened to Ava DeLaria's Love Letters from the Dead. And then before that, I had read John Green's what's the book that was so famous on YouTube and BookTube and everywhere else, The Fault in Our Stars, and loved it. So I read all of John Green's books. I read John Corey Whaley's books. And I just, I read all of Benjamin Ilear Sign's books, loved them. Last Night I Sang to a Monster is probably my favorite of his books. But anyway, Aristotle and Dante is so good. But Last Night I Sang to a Monster speaks to me personally as a person in recovery, because it's about somebody in a treatment program. So good. And Juliana and Jose in Hollywood, something like that. All of his books are so good, and I think so important about the Chicano culture. But I just kind of, like, started reading a lot of young adult. I think I actually saturated myself because I just kind of got over it at some point. So when I first started, so then I was just like, I want to do this. I want to do this so bad. And I can remember I said something to my best friend Tanya. We were driving around and I said, I really want to start a BookTube channel. And she kind of was like, oh, and because I'm, like, big on making, like, starting projects and then not finishing them. And she was like, like, she didn't say it, like, criticizing me, but she was just kind of like, is this something that you're going to start and like actually finish? And I was like, yeah, like, I feel really committed to it. And I said something to my husband about it too, because they're both people that see me get really excited about stuff, and then I kind of, like, fall out of excitement, you know, and then it kind of, like, I get kind of, not sad about it, but just kind of like it didn't live up to the expectation that I thought it was going to be. So my husband kind of, I said something to him about it that night, and he kind of said the same thing. He was like, well, are you gonna, like, keep this up, or is this something that you just want to try for a little while or whatever? And I was like, I don't know, you know. And so the next day I was sitting there, and I think it was like 2 days before I started my channel, I went to go try to find, it was either Twitter or on this blog that I was going to start, or somewhere. I wanted to do Peter Loves Books, but Peter Loves Books was taken, so I went with Peter Likes Books, which I actually like better now anyway. And so I started it. I got my Twitter because I wanted it to be consistent across the board. My Twitter, my YouTube channel, and everything. And then I remember that day I was sitting there and I was like, and this was my thought, I was like, I'm so heavy because I've always had issues with my weight and am so self-critical of my weight. And I was like, I want to lose like 60 pounds and then I don't want to start BookTube until I've lost a bunch of weight. Like, I'm so insecure about it. And I don't know what it was, but I was just like, I had this moment of clarity, and I was like, okay, Peter, like, I was actually going to talk about how BookTube had changed, but this has turned into how I started my channel. So anyway, maybe we'll just leave it at that, and then tomorrow I'll talk about how I feel like BookTube has changed. But I had this moment of clarity, and I was like, you know what, Peter, you have missed out on so many things in life because of your social anxiety and because you allow yourself to, like, let your weight stand in the way. Like, I don't go do stuff because of my weight. Like, I was just talking about this on my vlog the other night. Like, my husband went to go lay out with a bunch of friends this weekend at our friend's pool, and I was gonna go, but I'm like, I'm so heavy. I've gained like 25 pounds since, you know, being inside since the COVID and things like that, and I'm just really down on myself right now. And I've always done that. I've always allowed my weight to stand in front of myself. Now, many of you might ask, this is turning into something else, but many of you might ask, well, then why not do something about your weight? And that's probably a very good question on why I haven't. But it's been a constant battle of mine since I was probably 15, and I've been on every fad diet in the world, and I've eaten really healthy at times, and worked out, and had a healthy lifestyle, and then gone back. So anyway, so I had this moment of clarity, and I was like, Peter, you're not gonna lose 60 pounds to start this YouTube channel. So if you wanna do it so bad, just start it, and just get over it. And I don't know what it was, but I just sat there, and I think I did the booktuber newbie tag, or I just started with like, this is my channel, welcome to my channel. I don't know what my first video was, but I know when I watch it back, it's kind of like, hi, I'm sitting at the table, and I'm like, this is bad lighting and everything, you know? And I'm not super embarrassed of that video, actually. Like, a lot of people look back at their first video and they're so embarrassed of it. I'm not. That video took a lot of courage for me to start. You know, I was 40-some years old starting a YouTube channel, and everybody that I saw that was on YouTube was 20+ years my junior, and as silly as that may sound, it took a lot of courage to start it and just be like, okay, I'm starting this channel. And, you know, honestly, it was the best thing that I've ever done in my entire life. It led to 5 other channels. It led to a career that I never imagined, you know, that I would ever have, and the opportunities of people that I've met, and, you know, all of that. But that's about how BookTube led to my other channels, you know. I remember that day I was so scared to hit publish on that video, and I just was like, nobody knows you out there, you know. And I can remember when I started that very first video, or I posted that very first video, and there are some people out there to this day that still watch my channels and comment on it, or I still consider friends, you know. Like, I will never forget getting a comment and then a message from Richard, who his channel has evolved over time, and he has a makeup channel as well, and he talks about a lot of different things now, but he was like, Richard's Book Nook, I think, at the time, and then Richard's Media Geek, and he's changed back and forth, but he was so welcoming. And I had so many people like Anne-Marie and Jay, and there were so many people, you know, that watched my videos from the very first video, that encouraged me to continue to make videos and welcomed me to the BookTube community, and I felt so loved and so welcomed. And I know that that's not everybody's experience, but that is mine, and I can only speak of my experience. And, you know, every person that I reached out to, because I have to tell you, when I wrote my book and I reached out to a lot of booktubers to see if they would review my book, not one person responded to me. And I think I sent out messages to like 50 people, like email messages, and not one person responded to me to review my book. Actually, the only person that reviewed my book that I reached out to was not a booktuber. He was a YouTuber. Why can I not think of his name now? Joseph. He used to be in a collab channel, and he's real funny, and he's into like anime and stuff, but he actually did a review of my book, and he said he liked it, but he hated the ending. But I appreciated his honesty, you know. Joseph Birdsong, oh, what happened to him? Anyway, and, you know, it just was like every person I'd ever reached out to, and I have to tell you, like, I haven't ever reached out to some of the big YouTubers. They kind of intimidate me, or big booktubers. To this day, they still kind of intimidate me, you know. Like, one time I said something about Jesse the Reader on a video. I was like, I said something about how I don't remember what I said, but it was a flippant statement, and I feel bad about it now in retrospect, because I think he's such a nice guy. But I said something like that he bored me or something like that, and he commented on my video and said, and I didn't even know he knew who I was, but probably somebody sent him there and said, I'm sorry my videos bore you, or something like that. But I felt bad about that, you know. Like, every other interaction, that's the only negative interaction I think I've had. Well, I mean, there's been some other ones, but like in the last couple years I haven't, you know. And I just feel so blessed on BookTube to be part of the community. Every person I reached out to was so nice to me, and you know, at first I kind of got into, there was like one situation, I guess, that happened where I was like in a little bit of drama with this video that I made. Somebody had made a video about like, what is a booktuber? What does a booktuber look like, kind of thing. And I made a response kind of video, which was very much kind of like a booktube drama video, saying that, you know, like, booktubers don't look a certain way and whatever. And but that's like the only thing I think I've gotten into on BookTube. And you know, in retrospect, I don't regret making the video because I feel like that needed to be said, and that was my point of view, and that was my opinion. And I think one of the most fantastic things about BookTube is that we're allowed to have our opinions. Do I wish that maybe, and I follow that person today, I do. I'm subscribed to them on BookTube, you know, so it's like, I don't think any grudges are held over a long period of time, you know, but like, every person I've reached out to do a buddy reads or ask questions or whatever has just been so fantastic to me. And I've just felt like it was such a welcoming community. And I'm so absolutely thankful for it. I love books. I love talking about books. I always will love talking about books. I hope that books are always important to me. I've been like in the dark the entire video that I have filmed. But you know, like I hope that I'm always, you know, talking about books over here, and the readathons and things like that, and watching people's TBR videos. I've been introduced to so many videos that I would, or so many books that I would never have been introduced to had I not watched. You know, I wouldn't have known about these books. I would never have heard about them. Some of these people that have just like, you know, have just been such blessings in my life. You know, like the book club, I talk about this a lot. Like, you know, like I would never have started the book club. And that was actually, this is like a point that I want to make, you know, that was something that I just did on a whim. Like I really just was sitting there one day and I was like, I've always wanted to be part of a book club. Very much like I want to start a BookTube channel, You know, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just was like, I really wanted to start a book club and be part of, I really wanted to go to a book club, but my social anxiety has kept me from that in my life. So I was like, you know what, I just want to, I really want to do a book club. And so I started it, and like a month or two after I started it, I don't even know how long it was. I think it was like a month or two after I started it, Mel reached out to me and was like, do you need help? And I actually was really hesitant because I'm not a person that trusts very well. And I was kind of like, you know, like, I don't know this person to like just give her control over the back end of all this technological stuff, which thank God, because I could never have kept up with it, you know? And then not only that, but then to have this friend that I've made, this absolutely incredible friend, you know, and it's been very cool through the years to see these people on video that I love, and I watch their videos and I watch their reviews, to see them, you know, like graduate from college and move into their first apartments and get married and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And to just see people's journeys, I think, and also know that you share a love for books, even if it's not the same books that you love to read, you know? And it is a beautiful community. And as somebody that covers, you know, on my other channel, drama that occurs in many other communities, BookTube is actually one community. I mean, there's drama in the slot community, there's drama in the mommy blogger community, there's drama in every candle review community. There is drama in literally every community that you can think about. And yes, there is drama from time to time on BookTube. There's drama about authors, there's dramas about books and people's opinions about books and things like that. But not on the level, not on the just I'm done with you kind of level that I have witnessed in other areas of YouTube. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful community, and I'm so blessed to be part of it. And I wanted to talk in here today about how BookTube is changing and how I'm gonna turn around right here into this little car dealership area. They have some nice cars in there. Oh, there, now you can see me. I wanted to talk about how, you know, BookTube has changed, but I don't know that I necessarily think that the change that has occurred is negative, you know, that I've noticed that a lot of people that I have followed from the beginning, there's a lot of people that I watch that are still doing the same kind of videos, you know, like Books and Lala. Lala's still doing this, she's still doing the same kind of videos she did, you know, she's still doing hauls, she's still doing, you know, TBRs, and, well, I don't know if she's doing as many TBRs, but she's doing like, you know, monthly wrap-ups, and she does a lot of the readathons like I do and stuff, and, beautiful sports cars. People are driving their sports cars because it's summer and it's so nice. So there's a lot of people that are still doing the things that they originally did, like me. And I always love a book haul. I always love a readathon. I always love, you know, all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of people whose channels have evolved, you know. And they're doing completely different things now, and I think that's great, you know. And I think that the fact that their love of books, because I think there's a lot of criticism for you were a booktuber and you've let that go, but I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I think that their love of books has led them to evolve and talk about things that they want to talk about on their channels. Isn't that fantastic? You know, for everybody, they don't want to start 5 channels like I did, you know? And so I think it's cool, and I love to see the different directions that people have gone to. People have started publishing companies, people have written books, people have written bestsellers, people have written, you know, like, there's a lot of people that are writing now, and, you know, and I've said this for a long time, you know, booktubers, bookstagrammers, and book bloggers are really putting their finger on the pulse of what is out there and what is trendy or important to read, and it's true, and I think a lot of people don't know that, and I'm forever grateful for BookTube, and it's just the coolest thing to be able to say that I'm part of that community. So this is how I got into the community of BookTube, and tomorrow I will talk about how I feel that BookTube is changing for the better and for the worse. But I don't really I don't see a lot changing for the worse, but I do want to talk about that, other people's perceptions that I see. But I just want to say, if you're somebody out there and you've thought about starting a channel and you haven't already, please, please, please start a channel. Just do it. Do it however you want to do it. Sit down. It doesn't matter what kind of lighting you use, or if you have a camera, or you're doing it from your phone. It's about the participation. It's about participating in life. It's about starting something that you really want to be a part of. I don't really care when I look back about the quality of my videos or how great the lighting was or whatever. What I care about is, but be yourself. I will say that. Be yourself. Let your personality shine through. But what I do care about is that I allowed myself to participate in life and participate in BookTube, and I'm forever thankful. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.